Shifting gears again. This is from Trixie, and they are asking, do you know how your mom came to hypnotherapy?
I do. I do know how she came. Um, so it started with my father. My father was trained, we were stationed in the Philippines because he was military, career Navy, and we're stationed in the Philippines. And there was someone, a Philip from in the Philippines that was teaching hypnosis, and my father was interested. And so, they had time for things like that to learn new things. And they said he was very good. And anyway, he learned. And then we came back stateside. He was working with people that he was working, on the base that were being called back or had issues, different, nervous system issues or whatever, just habits, things like that. So my mother was helping him just to do that. And then, so in that process, she was learning, what he was doing and how that worked. And then I'll try to condense this story a little bit, but in the course, while he was helping all these other people, the doctor at the hospital on the base had a patient as one of the military wives and who had a nervous eating disorder. And he was like, he'd done everything he could and she wasn't responding. So he'd heard about my father and how he was helping a lot of the men. He said, maybe that can help, maybe can relax her so she can just, be calmer and be okay. So he was working with her, he and my mother, and my mother was acting as his assistant at that point. So they were working on that. And this woman, they got, she was a beautiful subject and she went down very easily. And yes, she relaxed, all her physical issues cleared up, they all, went beautifully. And then in that process, and after, like they worked with all that, then all of a sudden she just spontaneously went into another life, a life in the 20s in Chicago. And it was like, whoa, what's this all about? Because this is back in the 60s. This was
Yeah.
it's not prevalent back then, so it was all very new. So anyway, so that's a whole story that mom wrote about in Five Lives Remember, because they ended up going back through 5 lives of hers. And it was just like them being very curious. So that's what my mother, she learned that from my father, how this works, and then how to just be curious and how to ask questions and how, because it's amazing how he did this adventure with this person. So then life took over and my father had a horrible car accident. And so then we all moved and they retired here in Arkansas. Then we were all teenagers. And so grew up and then we all left home and mom's like, okay, now what do I do with the rest of my life? And she's like, I really enjoyed that time travel I was doing back there. So she wanted to do that again, but she didn't like the method that my father was doing because it was very long, drawn out. It was the old, watch the shiny object. And she's like, I just don't have the patience for that long of a thing, and all the stuff that you have to do. So she looked into the current hypnosis methods and they were about relaxation and visualization, things like that. So she started, just trying those things and then just gradually, because of the work she'd done, the experience she had, she was able to create her own technique. And it was from seeing what they'd done before and then what was current. And then also by having sessions on herself, she was able to see, okay, I don't like that. I do like this. What makes this work? She kind of deconstructed it, and then put it back together the way she liked it. And that's how she got into it and how she created her own technique, QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique.